Good evening, children. Um, if you can hear me loudly and clearly, please type LNC so that we can start. Okay, great. So we have started our discussion on Kingdom Monera. In Kingdom Monera, we have finished eubacteria last class, which are also called true bacteria. Then fungi-like bacteria. Fungi-like bacteria was called actinomycetes. Then some bacteria which were classified as algae earlier called cyanobacteria. Yeah, so these three we have completed. There is one more, rather there are two more. One is called archaebacteria. Yes, and the second one is called mycoplasma. Yeah, so these two types of monerans we are going to study in today's class. If you are as excited as I am, you know what to do. Type bio, B-I-O, bring it on. All right, great, great. So we are going to start with archaebacteria. Today's class is only going to be for 2 hours, so there's not going to be any break in between. Yeah. So archaebacteria are bacteria which evolved, मतलब was the first to evolve. Yeah. So they उनके fossils भी मिले हैं and they are living. That's why they are also called living fossils. Normally जो living organisms होते हैं उनके fossils नहीं मिलते हैं. तो अगर कोई एक लिविंग ऑर्गेनिज्म है और उसका फॉसिल भी मिल रहा है मतलब वो बहुत बहुत पुराना है. यस, इट मींस इट्स वेरी वेरी ओल्ड. या, we'll come back to the research question after I finish this. Yeah, there were some research questions that I told you. We'll come to it after we finish archaebacteria and mycoplasma. Okay, now these archaebacteria, they live in extreme conditions. They live in extreme adverse conditions. Okay, high temperature, high salt concentration, ऐसे जगहों पे रहते हैं. Extreme adverse conditions, high temperature, high salt concentration, so on and so forth. Yeah. Now, at high temperature, high salt concentration, and other extreme adverse conditions, may very few living organisms survive, and these are one amongst them. They are supposed to be one of the oldest organisms which we have living today. Yeah. So, archaebacteria are called the most primitive and ancient most bacteria. They are most primitive and the most ancient bacteria. Now, archaebacteria ka cell wall. Now, if you remember, Carl Woese gave a three domain classification. In the three domain classification, archaebacteria were put under a different domain called archaea. है ना? So archaebacteria is different from regular bacteria because of its cell wall. Now the cell wall of archaebacteria contains proteins. Yeah, it also contains polysaccharides. Yeah. Now, normally a bacterial cell wall contains peptidoglycans in some quantity. या स्मॉल क्वांटिटी लार्ज क्वांटिटी पेप्टिडोग्लाइकन्स बैक्टीरिया में होता है. A very important MCQ. Archaebacteria does not have any peptidoglycan. Yeah, right. Also, पॉलीसैकेराइड्स में प्लांट सेल वॉल में सेल्यूलोज होता है. इसके पास भी कोई सेल्यूलोज नहीं होता है, कोई दूसरे शुगर्स होते हैं. So the cell wall is made up of proteins and polysaccharides. They lack peptidoglycans, which is a characteristic feature of bacteria, cyanobacteria, and they also don't contain glucose. So what does the cell wall contain? Yeah. So cell wall is made up of proteins with carbohydrate. A protein with carbohydrate is called glycoprotein. So their cell wall is made up of glycoprotein. And then it is also made up of pseudomurin. So murin was present in bacteria. This is similar to murin. It's called pseudomurin. Okay. Now, pseudomurin looks like murin. Murin is nothing but the peptidoglycan. Okay. So it looks similar to peptidoglycans. It is similar to peptidoglycans, but it is not peptidoglycan. Then what is this pseudomurin? Okay. If you remember, peptidoglycans had NAM. Yes. Can anyone tell me what is the full form of NAM? Yes, Devangi, you are correct. N-acetyl muramic acid. So pseudomurin में N-acetyl muramic acid नहीं होता है. उसके बदले एक कॉम्प्लिकेटेड कंपाउंड होता है, वो भी ऐसे ही दिखता है. कॉल्ड एन एसिटाइल टैलोस अमाइन्यूरोनिक एसिड. सो नैम की जगह पे उसके पास होता है एन एसिटाइल टैलोस एमिन्यूरिक एसिड. एन एसिटाइल टैलोस एमिन्यूरिक एसिड. Okay. So it has pseudo glycoprotein and pseudomurin. Pseudomurin is similar to peptidoglycans. Instead of NAM, it has N-acetyl glucose, N-acetyl tallose aminouric acid. Yeah. So this is cell wall. Up, so the cell wall के नीचे they also have a cell membrane, and the cell wall and cell membrane actually help them to survive under extreme conditions. The cell wall contains branch chain lipids. तो उनके जो लिपिड्स होते हैं वो ब्रांच्ड होते हैं, ब्रांच चेन लिपिड्स. एंड बिकॉज ऑफ दीज ब्रांच चेन लिपिड्स, उनका जो ब्रांच चेन का मतलब क्या होता है, जो लिपिड्स के नॉर्मली जो चेन होते हैं वो लीनियर रहते हैं, इसमें ब्रांचेस होंगे. ओके. Because of this chemical composition of cell membrane and cell wall, they can actually withstand adverse conditions. So Archaebacteria, also called as living fossils, they have been found in living condition now, and their fossils have also been discovered. They live at extreme adverse temperatures like high temperature, high salinity. Salinity का मतलब होता है lot of salt. Saline का मतलब होता है SALINE. Saline का मतलब होता है salt. Okay. So this is called salinity, high salinity. They are primitive and ancient was bacteria having cell wall different from the normal bacteria. They will contain glycoproteins. They contain pseudomurin. Pseudomurin is similar to peptidoglycans, but it is not peptidoglycan. Yeah. In peptidoglycan there is NAM present. Here in place of NAM there is N-acetyl tallose aminuric acid. Yeah. The cell membrane contains many branch chain lipids. Yeah. And because of these branch chain lipids and the cell membrane and the cell wall, Archaebacteria can work or stay under extreme conditions. Okay. Now there are three groups which these archaebacteria are divided into. Okay. Now these archaebacteria are divided into a group called methanogens. Now I have already discussed this word ogen with you earlier. Tell me, what is the meaning of the word methanogen? Come on. Methanogen. क्या होता है methanogen? Very good. Those which form methane, not those which contain methane. Ogen means to create or generate. Then the second group is called halophiles. चलो, what is the meaning of the word file? ये word किया है हमने, file. And what is the meaning of the word halo? Halogen. Halo. Halophiles. बताओ. Yeah. Halo means salt. Yes, very good. Halogen derivatives, halogens, they are living in salt, sea water. Salt lovers or staying in sea water. Great. Niranjan, Khushi, Shruti, Jay, Rashmi. Very good. Halophiles. And then third group is called thermoacidophiles. Chalo. What are thermoacidophiles? Come on. What are thermoacidophiles? They live in high temperature as well as high acidity. Jay, you are the first one to give me both right. Yes, Kushi, you're also right as well. So archaebacteria are classified into three groups. The first one is called methanogens. Methanogens are those which will generate, they produce methane gas. So by some process, they produce methane gas. That is why they are called methanogens. Halophiles are those organisms which stay in high salt conditions. Yes. So in high salt conditions, high salt condition means high salinity. And thermoacidophiles stay in high temperature and high acidity. In high temperature and highly acidic conditions. Yeah, so this is archaebacteria, and they have been evolved before the regular eubacteria. Yeah, in fact, because of difference in their cell wall and also differences in their ribosome, archaebacteria, including methanogens, halophiles, and thermoacidophiles, they are all in a different group, different domain. Okay, let's pick each one of them in detail and try to understand. So we already know about methanogen. What do we know about methanogen? Methanogens are capable of producing methane. Now, सबसे पहले, they are obligate anaerobes. What is the meaning of the one word obligate anaerobes? ये word करवाया था मैंने आपको. What is the meaning of the word obligate anaerobes? They are obligate anaerobes. What is the meaning? Great. Obligate anaerobes का मतलब क्या है? Obligate का मतलब होता है ऑप्शनली नहीं. Obligate का मतलब होता है compulsorily. So they respire under anaerobic conditions only. They will die in aerobic conditions. Now where do they stay? So normally methanogens stay in marshy areas. What is the meaning of the word marshy area? एक ऐसा एरिया जहां पे कीचड़ होता है. ओके. कीचड़ का मतलब क्या है? सॉइल पूरी तरह से सॉइल नहीं है और वाटर भी पूरी तरह से वाटर नहीं है. मतलब इट्स नाइदर अ रिवर नॉर इट इज हार्ड सॉइल. तो सॉइल में बहुत ज्यादा वाटर, तो उसको हम बोलते हैं वाटर लॉग्ड सॉइल, ओके, जिसमें पानी, सॉइल में पानी बहुत ज्यादा होता है, उसको मार्शी एरियाज बोलते हैं. नाउ व्हाट डू मिथेनोजेंस डू? ओके, some methanogens can convert carbon dioxide, some methanogens can convert methyl alcohol or methanol, and some of them can convert formic acid. Yeah, so these are the three substrates that different methanogens use to convert and release methane. So methane is released as a byproduct, and when it is getting converted to methane, whatever energy is released, this energy is used up by the organism. Okay, now if you remember that uh, in your school we have understood the concept of biogas plant. Yes, गोबर गैस प्लांट, जिसको बायोगैस प्लांट भी बोलते हैं, राइट? तो इन बायोगैस प्लांट इट इज वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट दैट यू ऐड मीथेनोजेंस. अगर मीथेनोजेंस नहीं होगा तो मीथेन नहीं बनेगा, and methane is an integral part of the biogas which is released from the biogas plant. जो गोबर गैस है या बायोगैस प्लांट है जिसमें आप सब चीजें डालोगे, उसमें आपको मीथेन भी डालना पड़ेगा, सॉरी मीथेनोजेन, बैक्टीरिया विच प्रोड्यूस मीथेन, ये भी डालना पड़ेगा. Interestingly, they can actually break down cellulose in living organisms. Okay, so that is why they are found in ruminants. Okay, ruminants are animals like cows and buffaloes. Okay, they are herbivorous, right? Now unka stomach, there are 4 parts to their stomach. Usme they can live in a part called rumen. Okay, rumen is a part of the stomach of cows and buffaloes. Okay, उसके अंदर मिथेनोजेंस रहते हैं, and here in cows and buffaloes they actually release, they cause fermentation of cellulose. So they eat a lot of plant food. Yeah, plant ka cell wall is made up of cellulose. Yes, so even cellulose can be broken down to produce methane, and energy is released from it. That is why the gobar, the feces of cows and buffaloes, have a distinct smell to it, and that is the methane smell. Okay, so this is all about methanogens. Methanogens are obligate anaerobes. They generally reside in marshy areas. They can convert carbon dioxide or methyl alcohol or formic acid into methane, and whatever energy is released is used up by the organism. Because they produce methane, they are called methanogens. Yes, cows and buffaloes in their gobar, in their feces, when they remove, they will release methane along with it. Okay. Gobar gas or biogas plant also, humans have used this property to release biogas. Biogas is nothing but mainly methane and carbon dioxide. Okay. In fact, carbon dioxide बहुत कम होता है, methane से ज़्यादा होता है. Then it's naturally found in ruminants like cows and buffaloes. They live in a part of their stomach. Rumen is a part of their stomach. Their stomach is 4-chambered. One chamber of the stomach is called rumen. In the rumen, they basically break down cellulose to form methane, and energy is released in that process. What is the meaning of the word to ruminate? What is the meaning of the word to ruminate? Anyone? Ruminate? No. Ruminate का मतलब होता है, वेरी गुड रितिशा, यू आर एब्सोल्युटली करेक्ट. रूमिनेट का मतलब होता है टू थिंक. ओके, अब ऐसे एनिमल्स को रूमिनेंट्स क्यों बोलते हैं? नाउ अगर आपने कोई काव या बफलो को बैठा हुआ देखा है, तो वो बैठ के मतलब वो बैठ के चबाते रहते हैं कुछ ना कुछ, है ना, और वो एक जगह पे देखते रहते हैं और चबाते रहते हैं। तो ऐसा लगता है कि ये काऊ और बफेलो कुछ सोच रहे, चबाते चबाते कुछ सोच रहे, ठीक है, इसीलिए उनको रूमिनेंट्स बोला गया है ना। अगर आप कोई काऊ या बफेलो को ऐसे बैठे देखोगे तो वो चबा रहा है, एक जगह पे देख रहा है, ठीक है, और चबाते जा रहा है, तो इट अपीयर्स एज इफ दे आर थिंकिंग समथिंग, ओके, उसको रूमिनेंट बोलते हैं। नाउ व्हाई डू दे डू दैट? बिकॉज दे हैव 4 पार्ट्स इन देयर स्टमक। तो क्या होता है, जब उनको फूड मिलता है तो वो थोड़ा ही काट के, मतलब दे डोंट chew it properly, they chew it little, जितना कम से कम chew हो सकता है, और अपने स्टमक में डाल देते हैं। फिर जैसे उनको टाइम मिलता है तो वो बैठ जाते हैं और अपने स्टमक से वो फूड बाहर निकलते हैं, और फिर धीरे धीरे उसको अच्छे से चू करके फिर से स्टमक में डालते हैं। तो इसके लिए बहुत सारे लोगों को लगता है रूमिनेंट का मतलब होता है रिगर्जिटेशन। नो, रूमिनेंट रिगर्जिटेशन मतलब वापस लेके आना, उल्टी करना। नो, रूमिनेंट का मतलब होता है थिंकिंग। Now, what are the examples of various methanogens? Can you tell me what is the shape of this organism going to be? So there is an organism called Methanococcus. Come on, what do you think will be the shape of this? Methanococcus. Very good. Round, cocci, spherical. Then we have Methanospirillum. What is the function of, or what is the shape of Methanospirillum? Yes, it is spiral or twisted. So this is about methanogens. Important that they are also found in the stomach of ruminants. Then our next discussion is halophiles. What do we know about halophiles? They stay in high salt conditions. Okay. Now they are aerobic. Halophiles are aerobic organisms, and then they are chemoheterotrophic. मतलब they cannot prepare their own food, but they are dependent on chemical reactions. हमने एक वर्ड सुना होगा कीमो ऑटोट्रॉफिक, ये है कीमो हेट्रोट्रॉफिक. They are generally spherical but not perfectly spherical. They may be a little ovoid like. So we say that these are coccoid bacteria. Coccoid का मतलब क्या है? Spherical like. And halophiles are also gram-negative. They look very similar to bacteria, but they are not gram-negative. Where do they have high salinity? Yeah. What are the places in which there is high salinity? Sea में हो सकता है, salt lake में हो सकता है, correct? Then marshy areas में हो सकता है. So ये सब जगह पे halophiles भी रह सकते हैं. Now there is an interesting fact to note about halophiles. Okay, if the light intensity increases, if the light falling on them increases in intensity, their cell membrane starts developing a reddish pigment. Their cell membrane develops a reddish pigment, and it is called bacterio, because वो बैक्टीरिया में होता है, rhodopsin. रोडो का मतलब होता है रेड. बैक्टीरियो rhodopsin, SIN, बैक्टीरियो rhodopsin. Okay, now this bacterio rhodopsin can trap sunlight, and this sunlight will be used to make ATP. Okay, now this ATP which is there, this cannot be used in synthesis of food. देखो अगर ये सिंथेसिस ऑफ फूड एटीपी प्रोड्यूस करता है, वो एनर्जी प्रोड्यूस करता है, पर वो एनर्जी खाना बनाने में यूज नहीं होती है. So halophiles in their cell membrane develop a red pigment called bacteriorhodopsin. This bacteriorhodopsin can trap sunlight and generate ATP, but this ATP cannot be used in photosynthesis, so we call them chemoheterotrophic. Now they don't have vacuoles, okay? ये हमने पढ़ा था ना, बैक्टीरिया में सैप वैक्यूल्स एब्सेंट रहते हैं, गैस वैक्यूल्स हो सकते हैं, वो भी एक्वाटिक फॉर्म्स में होते हैं, राइट? अब हैलोफाइल्स में सैप वैक्यूल्स है ही नहीं. जब सैप वैक्यूल्स है ही नहीं, तो अगर इनको हाई सॉल्ट कंडीशन में रखेंगे तो सेल से अंदर से बाहर, तो नॉर्मली अगर मैं एक डाइल्यूट सोल्यूशन को सॉल्ट, what is the use of ATP? ATP can be used in any other activity, any other function of the cell. Yeah. Now, the sap vacuole is absent, and because sap vacuole is absent, there is no chance of, there's no chance that it will get damaged, okay, in high salt concentration. Yeah, it also has other mechanisms, but it does not get damaged under high salt concentration. Now, how do they maintain high salt concentration? In their cell, in their cytoplasm, there is a lot of potassium chloride, and this maintains high osmotic pressure or high osmotic concentration. Osmotic concentration मतलब KCl holds the water. Okay, ये समझने के लिए जस्ट एक लॉजिक समझते हैं. सपोज आई हैव अ सेल, ठीक है, इस सेल के अंदर वाटर है, साइटोप्लाज्म है, और ये सेल बाहर है, राइट ना. अगर इसको सी वाटर में डाल दो, ठीक है, इफ इट इज सराउंडेड बाय सी वाटर, एनी नॉर्मल सेल इज सराउंडेड बाय सी वाटर, तो आई कैन से उसके अंदर का थिंग इज डाइल्यूट और बाहर इट इज कॉन्सेंट्रेटेड. Okay, the internal environment of the cell is dilute while the external environment is concentrated. I can say that. Now, whenever dilute and concentrated solutions are brought together, dilute के पास water ज़्यादा होता है, तो water moves from dilute to concentrated. Okay, and concentrated के पास solute ज़्यादा होता है, तो solute will move from concentrated to dilute till there is an equilibrium. Yes. Now, because there is dilute water or dilute solution inside the cell, if I keep it in sea water, water will tend to come out. Okay. Now, transport of water is called osmosis, and when water comes out is exo. So that is why it's called exoosmosis. ठीक है. Now, अगर इसमें से पानी निकल गया तो क्या होगा, ये सेल श्रिंक हो जाएगा. इससे ऐसा लगेगा कि इसमें से साइटोप्लाज्म निकाल दिया है. सो जब सेल में से पानी निकल जाता है तो हम उसको बोलते हैं प्लाज्मोलाइज्ड सेल. लाइज का मतलब होता है ब्रेक डाउन, प्लाज्मो का यहाँ पे मतलब होता है साइटोप्लाज्म. ओके, सो अ प्लाज्मोलाइज्ड सेल इज अ सेल जिसमें से साइटोप्लाज्म निकाल चुके हैं. ठीक है. Now, this will happen in all cells, मतलब in all eukaryotic, prokaryotic cell. इसके लिए क्या करते हैं कि बहुत बार है ना, अगर आपको कुछ भी चीज बैक्टीरिया से प्रिवेंट करनी है तो उस पर नमक लगा देते हैं. Like suppose there are certain fishes, okay, which can be caught only in certain season, but you want to eat it throughout the year. So there is a method of fish drying. It's called salting. तो जब उसके ऊपर मैं salt लगाता हूँ तो क्या होता है कि फिश के सेल्स के अंदर से पानी निकल जाता है और वो फिश ड्राई हो जाता है, और वो सॉल्ट एनवायरनमेंट में बैक्टीरिया भी ग्रो नहीं कर सकते. सेम चीज होता है पिकल के साथ. जब आप पिकल में नमक का पानी डालते हो तो उसमें अगर कोई बैक्टीरिया रहेगा तो वो भी मर जाएगा, क्योंकि नमक का पानी बैक्टीरिया के अंदर से फ्लूइड निकाल देगा. बट ये हैलोफाइल्स में नहीं होता. बिकॉज हैलोफाइल्स अपने अंदर पोटेशियम क्लोराइड बना रहे होते हैं बहुत ज्यादा। अब क्योंकि ये पोटेशियम क्लोराइड बना हो जा रहे होते हैं, इनके अंदर का, सेल के अंदर का कॉन्सेंट्रेशन और सेल के बाहर का, एनवायरमेंट का कॉन्सेंट्रेशन रफली इक्वल होता है। डिड वी अंडरस्टैंड दिस? सो because they have high amount of KCl, will they undergo exoosmosis? No. Will they undergo plasmolysis? No, because their concentrations will be maintained. Yes. So that is the function of KCl. Exoosmosis is the process of removal of water outside the cell. When water is removed due to exoosmosis, the cell will shrink in size. This shrunk cell is called a plasmolyzed cell. Okay. Now, to prevent plasmolysis or to prevent exoosmosis, the halophiles which stay in salt, they don't have sap vacuoles, and in their cytoplasm there is large amount of potassium chloride. So because of this, we say potassium chloride is more, so osmotic concentration is high, so water will not leave these cells. Okay. Now they normally grow very well in what salt solution? They normally grow very well in 25 to 30% salt solution, NaCl solution. मतलब अगर 100 parts of water में 30 parts of sodium chloride है, तो वो बहुत आसानी से ग्रो कर सकते हैं। लेकिन अगर इसका कॉन्सेंट्रेशन चेंज हुआ तो बैक्टीरिया मर सकता है। ओके, सो दे आर हैलोफाइल्स। एग्जाम्पल ऑफ हैलोफाइल्स, again they start with the word halo. So halococcus, spherical bacterium which stays in salt. Then we also have halobacterium. Yeah, so what did we know about halophiles? Halophiles are aerobic bacteria, aerobic monerans rather. They are chemoheterotrophic, that means they cannot make their own food and they are dependent on other chemicals for food. Spherically, they are generally spherical to ovoid. They are generally gram negative and they stay in areas of high salinity. High salinity का मतलब है the solution should have at least 25 to 30% sodium chloride. A unique feature is that they have photosynthesis जैसा pigment. Okay, when the light intensity increases, the cell membrane of halophiles will develop a red pigment. The red pigment is called bacteriorhodopsin. It translates to bacteria having red pigment. Now, bacteriorhodopsin will trap sunlight, and this trapped sunlight will be helpful in the formation of ATP. Okay. Now, normally when sunlight is trapped and it produces ATP, it's used in the process of formation of food. Here, it is not used in the process of formation of food. Okay. They don't have sap vacuoles, and also their cytoplasm contains enough potassium chloride. So their concentration is almost as equal as the surrounding concentration. That is why they don't get damaged in high salt conditions, or they do not undergo plasmolysis or exoosmosis. Examples are halococcus and halobacterium. So that's halophiles for you. Then the third and the last group is called thermoacidophils. Yeah. What do we know about thermoacidophils already? They live in high temperature, high acidic conditions. Okay. Now, where do they normally live? ये high temperature किधर मिलता है? Normally, there are natural hot water springs. Okay, they are naturally, the temperature is high. They're sometimes also called vents or vent springs. Okay, so hot water springs में temperature कभी कभी 80 डिग्रीज के बियॉन्ड भी पहुंच जाता है, 80 डिग्री सेल्सियस, और उसका pH कैन समटाइम्स फॉल बिलो 2, pH of 2, the below 2 in the sense it can fall up to 2, sorry, not below 2, it can form, the pH can fall all the way up to 2. तो एसिडिक और हाई टेम्परेचर दोनों एनवायरनमेंट में ये करते हैं. Now anyone, why are hot springs hot? What happens in hot springs? Why are they bubbling? Why is the temperature high? No. Now, in hot water springs, these bacteria actually utilize sulfur. So they have mechanisms by which they oxidize sulfur, and there is water around, so it forms sulfuric acid. Yeah, of course, it's very dilute because water बहुत ज़्यादा होता है. Now, they oxidize sulfur to sulfuric acid. For this, they need aerobic conditions. So in aerobic conditions, they oxidize sulfur to sulfuric acid. Now, energy जो मिलती है इससे, that energy is utilized to synthesize food. तो halophiles में जो energy sun से trap किया, it was not used for synthesizing food. So I can say that thermophiles are chemoautotrophic or chemosynthetic because they can prepare their own food not with the help of sunlight but because of the energy released in a chemical reaction. Now, because there is deposition of sulfuric acid, the medium will become highly acidic. And because sulfuric acid is a byproduct. Now, sometimes they face anaerobic conditions. So they mainly respire through aerobic conditions, but they can survive in anaerobic condition also. So that is why they are called what? Facultative anaerobes. Yeah. In anaerobic condition, they reduce the sulfur to hydrogen sulfide. Yes. Their example is thermoplasma. Yes. Thermoproteus. They can prepare their own food, hence we say that they have the chemosynthetic nutrition. Now why can they work? याद रखना सारे ये they work under high ये because their cell membrane and cell wall are made differently. The cell membrane will have branched lipids, and that is why thermoacidophils can resist high temperature. But what about acidity? In fact, they have many enzymes which operate under acidic conditions and they destroy the acid. तो वो acid उस तक पहुंचेगा ही नहीं. Right? So this was all about Archaebacteria. Archaebacteria mein, the third thing that we did was thermoacidophils. Thermoacidophils are present in hot water springs, also known as vents. The temperature almost reaches to 80 degrees Celsius. The pH drops to about 2. Under aerobic conditions, they will convert sulfur to sulfur dioxide. This sulfuric acid is highly acidic. It will mix with water and reduce the pH to 2. The energy released by oxidation of sulfur to sulfuric acid is used to synthesize food. Hence, we say that it is chemosynthetic in nutrition. Under anaerobic condition, the sulfur will be converted to hydrogen sulfide instead of sulfuric acid. The cell membrane contains branch lipids, and the enzymes can protect the cells from any kind of acid. They can break down acids. That is why thermoacidophils can work in hot water or high temperature as well as high acidity. Okay. Example: thermoplasma, thermoproteus, and uh, these are the two examples. Okay. Right. So now what you're going to do is you are going to make a table. Now all of you are going to do this. ओके आर्की बैक्टीरिया का ये टेबल होने वाला है, तो ऊपर लिख दो आर्की बैक्टीरिया. प्लीज ओपन योर नोटबुक्स एंड इन योर नोटबुक्स यू शुड राइट दिस. आर्की बैक्टीरिया है. सबसे पहले है मीथेनोजेंस. ठीक है. फिर है हैलोफाइल्स और फिर है थर्मोएसिडोफाइल्स. ओके. अब इसका डिफरेंशिएट करना है. इसका मैं आपको 5 मिनट देने वाला हूँ. ठीक है. सब लोग अपने अपने नोटबुक में लिखेंगे. ऑलराइट. तो सबसे पहले तो आई वांट टू नो द मीनिंग. व्हाट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ द वर्ड मेथानोजेन? व्हाट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ द वर्ड हैलोफाइल? व्हाट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ द वर्ड थर्मोएसिडोफाइल? ओके. सेकेंड, we need to know their location. Location मतलब where are they found? Like methanogens are found in marshy areas. दूसरा क्या है? They are also found in the rumen of ruminating animals. ये दो जगह पे वो मिलते हैं. ठीक है. हैलोफाइल्स किधर मिलते हैं? एरियाज विद हाई सैलिनिटी लाइक सी, मार्शेस, सॉल्ट लेक्स एक्सेट्रा. है ना. Thermoacidophils are found in natural hot water springs. ये हो गया लोकेशन. लोकेशन के बाद आपको उसका न्यूट्रिशन बताना पड़ेगा. तो न्यूट्रिशन अगेन one phrase only. What about methanogens? Methanogens are obligate anaerobes. What about halophiles? Halophiles are aerobic chemoheterotrophs, and thermoacidophiles are facultative anaerobes. तो ये हो गया उनका न्यूट्रिशन. नेक्स्ट हो गया केमिकल रिएक्शन. तो इनके आसपास कौन सा केमिकल रिएक्शन होता है? सो मीथेनोजेंस में क्या केमिकल रिएक्शन होता है? कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड, मीथेनॉल और फॉर्मिक एसिड इज कन्वर्टेड टू मीथेन एंड द एनर्जी इज रिलीज. हैलोफाइल्स में क्या केमिकल रिएक्शन होता है? सनलाइट is picked up by bacterial rhodopsin and it will release ATP. Yes. थर्मोएसिडोफिल में क्या होता है? दो रिएक्शन है. एरोबिक कंडीशन में सल्फर इज ऑक्सीडाइज्ड टू सल्फ्यूरिक एसिड. एनारोबिक कंडीशन में सल्फर इज ऑक्सीडाइज्ड टू हाइड्रोजन सल्फर. ये हो गया. एंड देन यू हैव टू राइट एग्जांपल. नाउ कम ऑन, टेक 5 minutes. First finish this in your books and then type it in the chat box. Okay. Niranjan, please switch on your video. Um, okay. Just show me what you have written. Have you finished it? Just show me. Take care of the camera. Show it to me. Okay. Thank you, brother. Thanks. Okay. Great. All right. Randomly, I will be keeping on. I will keep on checking with people. Of obviously, हमने ये सब discuss पहले ही कर दिया था. आपको लिखना था अच्छे से. So I hope everyone is done with this, so that we can start with the next topic, and that is mycoplasma. Uh, Chalo. So let's move ahead. Um, let's talk about the next group, and that is called mycoplasma. Mycoplasma. Can you tell me what does myco mean? Okay, great. It means something related to fungus. Okay. So when this was discovered, it was thought to be related to fungus, but um, there's a little interesting history about it and why this is so special. Okay. Now, was actually discovered from cows, cattle, who were suffering from a disease called pleuropneumonia. Pleuro is the membrane of the lung. Okay, pneumonia is infection of the lung. So infection of the lung and its membrane is called pleuropneumonia. और प्लूरोनिमोनिया से कुछ ऑर्गेनिजम्स निकले, ठीक है. वो ऑर्गेनिजम्स they were discovered by Nocard and Roux. Nocard and Roux. X is silent. Okay. Now these organisms were called mycoplasma. Yeah. Earlier they were called PPLO. So that's one more name for mycoplasma. PPLO stands for pleuro. Another P is pneumonia. Pleuropneumonia like organisms. PPLO, pleuropneumonia like organisms. That is one more name. Mycoplasma, also called PPLO. They are also called jokers of the plant kingdom. Okay. Now earlier they were classified as in plant kingdom. Now they have been removed. So they behave very oddly. Jokers of the plant kingdom. ये उसका पुराना नाम है. Abhi with modern day classification, they are not in plant kingdom anymore. Okay. They were almost having the shape of a star along with a spherical nature. So that's why it was called Asterococcus mycoids. So ये एक और नेम है. तो माइकोप्लाज्मा के तीन चार नाम है. माइकोप्लाज्मा एक, PPLO, that is pneumonia like organism, jokers of the plant kingdom, and Asterococcus mycoids. These are the different names. Okay. Now, mycoplasma are primarily parasites. In the chat box, tell me what is a parasite? What is a parasite? Yes, it depends on somebody to live, or and in that process tends to damage the organism. Okay, so this is found as a parasite in plants also. This is found in animals also. That's their location. Sometimes they are also found in soil. They are found in water which comes out from household sewage water, etc. So mycoplasma is found in parasites, as a parasite in plants, in animals, it's found in soil, sewage, water, etc. Now, what's interesting about mycoplasma? Okay, what is so interesting about mycoplasma? The most important thing about mycoplasma is that they are um, unicellular. Yes, they are prokaryotes. Now, unicellular prokaryotes, all of them have a cell wall, right? This is the only one in Monera without a cell wall. ये बहुत बहुत important है. So mycoplasma are unicellular prokaryotes without a cell wall. That's why mycoplasma are also called the simplest living organisms. एक prokaryote है पर उस पे cell wall भी नहीं है, तो सबसे simple. Now, because they don't have cell wall, they can keep on changing their shape. So they are found in many shapes and sizes. Yeah, morpho का मतलब होता है structure, and यहाँ पे plio का मतलब होता है many. So ये भी एक word बहुत commonly associated है with mycoplasma. That mycoplasma are pleomorphic. Pleomorphic मतलब एक ही organism under some conditions can be spherical. Yeah, they can become filamentous. Yeah, they can keep on changing their shape. They can keep on changing their shape, and we say that it happens because the cell wall is absent. Okay. Now, when you grow mycoplasma in an artificial medium, now we can grow bacteria in artificial medium. Yeah, that artificial medium in which we grow organisms is also called culture medium. Culture means to grow. ना जब आप इसको कल्चर मीडियम में ग्रो करते हो तो बहुत सारे माइकोप्लाज्मा ग्रो करते हैं. सो अ कलेक्शन ऑफ माइकोप्लाज्मा इज कॉल्ड कॉलोनी. सो व्हेन यू हैव अ कॉलोनी, इट अपीयर्स, द कॉलोनी मतलब इसमें सब माइक्रो ऑर्गेनिजम्स है. ओके, ये कुछ ऐसा दिखता है. Yeah, it has an opaque central area and almost a clear peripheral zone. That is why these colonies are said to be looking like a fried egg. So that is why they are called fried egg colonies, because they have a central area which is opaque and the remaining area is almost transparent. They are like prokaryotes. They have 70s type of ribosomes. They have proteins. They don't have any nucleus. Yes. They have DNA, they have RNA, their DNA is double stranded. Yes, so that is mycoplasma. Now, mycoplasma are smaller than regular bacteria. Okay, they are smaller than regular bacteria. That is why if I create a bacterial filtration, so there are many bacterial filtration units. Okay, जिससे बैक्टीरिया फिल्टर आउट हो जाते हैं. फिल्टर आउट मतलब बैक्टीरिया रुक जाते हैं और बैक्टीरिया अटक जाते हैं और बाकी सब फिल्टर आउट हो जाता है. तो बैक्टीरिया के फिल्टर से माइकोप्लाज्मा आसानी से पास कर सकता है. Okay. Then what is their mode of nutrition? Majority of them are parasites. So what is their mode of nutrition? Their mode of nutrition is what? Heterotrophic. Their mode of nutrition is heterotrophic. Heterotrophic, maybe they are mostly what? Parasitic. Some of them can grow on dead decaying organic matter. So we can say that some of them are saprophytic, but mostly they are what? Parasitic. Okay. Then in terms of gram, they are gram negative. They don't have a cell wall, so gram negative hoga. Now they are insensitive to penicillin. Insensitive का मतलब क्या है? पेनिसिलिन इस पे काम नहीं करेगा. इस पे पेनिसिलिन काम नहीं करेगा, but other antibiotics काम करेंगे. So just write it here. It is gram negative. Then it is insensitive टू पेनिसिलिन. मतलब पेनिसिलिन से ये माइक्रो ऑर्गेनिज्म नहीं मरेगा, बट अदर एंटीबायोटिक्स से दे आर सेंसिटिव. अदर एंटीबायोटिक्स लाइक स्ट्रेप्टोमाइसिन, एरिथ्रोमाइसिन, ये सब एंड अदर्स. बट पेनिसिलिन इसको नहीं मार सकता. ओके. And finally, what is the smallest? Mycoplasma may be smallest one. The smallest cell, okay, the smallest mycoplasma which is there, the smallest prokaryote also I can say, yeah, is mycoplasma. अब ये फैक्चुअल है, लर्न करना पड़ेगा. mycoplasma gallisepticum. Mycoplasma gallisepticum, it is 0.3 to 0.5 micrometers in diameter. That's how small it is. Now you are not, again you're going to take this as a factual thing. Details about its reproduction we don't have in the syllabus, but one word is important. They have certain areas in their cells called elementary bodies. Okay, elementary bodies in the cell. So there's tiny particles which help in reproduction. Now details of elementary bodies of mycoplasma are not there in our syllabus. जैसे ये याद कर लो, elementary bodies are certain spherical structures which are found in the cell, which actually helps in reproduction of mycoplasma. One last important feature is that their cell membrane is made up of 3 layers. So that is why their cell membrane is trilamellar. Yeah, trilamellar matlab made up of 3 layers. So what do we know about mycoplasma? Mycoplasma was first discovered from pleural fluid of cattle suffering from pleuropneumonia, that is infecting the lungs and the pleural membrane, that is the covering of the lung. Pleuro is covering of the lung. That's why they were called PPLO, pleuropneumonia-like organisms. Another name given to them was Ashterococcus mycoides. They were also called jokers of the plant kingdom. Okay. Now mycoplasma infect animals, they infect plants, they can be found in soil, they can be found in sewage water. If I look at the structure, they are unicellular, simplest prokaryotes. They do not have a cell wall. That's the most important feature. That is why they are highly pleomorphic. Pleomorphic ka matlab hai they assume various shapes and sizes. The cell membrane is the outermost layer. There is no layer beyond it. Cell membrane is having 3 layers. So it's a trilamellar unit. Then when I grow it in a culture medium, the colonies of mycoplasma appear like a fried egg. So it's called a fried egg appearance of colonies. जिसमें बीच में there is a dark area, central opaque area, and peripherally there is a translucent peripheral zone. These cells cannot move, they are non-motile, they contain 70S ribosomes, they contain proteins, but they don't contain any nucleus or any other cell organelle. Yeah, they contain DNA. A pleomorphic and amoeboid is not the same. Pleomorphism मतलब it will exist in different shapes and sizes. Amoeboid मतलब amoeboid के पास pseudopodia जैसा चीज होता है, इसमें pseudopodia नहीं बनेगा. Okay, all right. They have heterotrophic nutrition. Most of them are parasitic. They have saprophytic nutrition also, some of them. The smallest one is called Mycoplasma gallisepticum, which is the smallest prokaryote. Mycoplasma are gram negative. They are insensitive to penicillin but sensitive to other other antibiotics like streptomycin, erythromycin, etc. Yeah. Details of the reproduction we don't have in the syllabus, but we can know that they are responding or reproducing with the help of elementary bodies. Yeah. So Mycoplasma is the smallest bacterium. All bacteria have cell wall except Mycoplasma. So some diseases diseases caused by Mycoplasma. Okay, some diseases caused by Mycoplasma. पहले एनिमल्स में देख लेते हैं. एक डिजीज तो हमको मालूम है ही, जिससे ये डिस्कवर हुआ था, और बहुत बार नीट में ये क्वेश्चन पूछते हैं, प्लूरोनिमोनिया, क्योंकि उसको पीपीएलओ भी बोलते हैं ना, प्लूरोनिमोनिया लाइक ऑर्गेनिजम्स. Then it can affect the reproductive system. So that is why it's called inflammation of genitals. Genitals matlab the male and female reproductive system. Also in sheep and goat, it has been known to form agalactia. Agalactia means no milk. So sheep, they affect mammary glands of sheep and goat, and they do not allow mammary glands to release milk. So this is found in in animals. Humans maybe they can develop pneumonia-like symptoms. They can cause genital organs का inflammation. So infertility हो सकती है. Then in plants, अब प्लांट में बहुत सारे डिजीजेस है. इंपॉर्टेंट वंस हम लिख रहे हैं. एक होता है बंची टॉप ऑफ पपाया. तो इसमें पपाया प्लांट में एक abnormal bunch जैसा एरिया बन जाता है. So bunchy top of papaya, that's the name of the disease. Then witch's broom. Okay, so leaf वगैरह को ऐसा दिखाता है कि वो witch का broom रहता है. Yes. So Harry Potter देखते हैं wizards and witches. So witch's broom. Then sometimes they produce star-shaped yellow area on the plant. That disease is called aster yellow. Aster matlab star, yellow star. And in brinjals, it is known to cause decrease in the size of leaves. Normally, brinjal ke leaf bade hote hain, but when they are infected with mycoplasma, it causes a disease called brinjal little leaf. Okay. So this is all about diseases caused by mycoplasma in animals and in plants. Right? So we finish with kingdom Monera here. Now let's move on to what we discussed last class, what the research question of last class. Yeah, so in the research, even if you have tasted it earlier, please do it again now. I had asked you to find out the names of antibiotics and from which organism is it. discovered. Okay, Niranjan, got your answer? Khushi, got your answer? आप लोगों को बोला था कि स्ट्रेप्टोमाइसिस से ही देखना है. Okay, now nobody is going to ask this question to you because it's not, it's beyond the scope. इतने सारे streptomycin से हैं, but some three important ones that I want you to know. Okay, the first one is called chloramphenicol. Okay, chloramphenicol. ये सबको आना चाहिए. Chloramphenicol. Yes, chloramphenicol. This is obtained from Streptomyces venezuelae. वेनेजुएला से डिस्कवर हुआ था, इसके लिए स्ट्रेप्टोमाइसिस, मतलब इसका नाम है स्ट्रेप्टोमाइसिस वेनेजुएले. ओके, फिर एक सिंपल है स्ट्रेप्टोमाइसिन, है ना. दूसरा वाला है स्ट्रेप्टोमाइसिन. नेम ऑफ द ड्रग इज स्ट्रेप्टोमाइसिन. Streptomycin is obtained from Streptomyces griseus. That's correct. Yeah. Then there is neomycin. यही तीन याद रखो, बाकी सब याद रखने की जरूरत नहीं है. Good work, Niranjan. Good work, Khushi. Shruti, I didn't ask you to just get one. Okay. We don't have to learn any disease of it. Just need to know the name of the antibiotic and the microbe from which it is obtained. Okay, neomycin. Neomycin is obtained from Streptomyces fradiae. Okay. Now the idea is that majority of the antibiotics that we are using, most of them are obtained from Streptomyces. Most of them are from Streptomyces. Okay. Again, only 2 or 3 people have done the work. The rest have not done the work. The only thing that I can tell you is God bless you. And when I have a discussion with your parents, okay, I'm going to remember all these points. I'm going to remember people, those who are actively doing this work, people, those who are not actively doing the work. I'm keeping a track of everything. Yeah. All right, we have about half an hour's time. We will not waste that. Okay, so we will move on to the next kingdom. The next kingdom is Kingdom Protista. Now, what do we already know about this Kingdom Protista and why organisms are placed in Kingdom Protista? सबसे पहले तो Kingdom Protista के सारे organisms have to be eukaryotic and they have to be unicellular. So सारे unicellular eukaryotic organisms are put under kingdom Protista. Okay, important. The term Protista was coined by the word Protista. This term Protista was coined by a gentleman called Ernst Haeckel or Haeckel. Okay, Haeckel was one of the scientists responsible for a lot of evolution based ये उसने ये नाम दिया था Protista. Now Protista is actually a connecting link because in Protista we are going to find connection between Monera and other three eukaryotic organisms. तो पता है कैसे होता है, मोनेरा ऐसा है, फिर प्रोटिस्टा ऐसा होगा एवोल्यूशन में, और यहाँ पे फंगाई, प्लांटे और एनिमेलिया होता है. पता है क्यों ऐसा बनाते हैं हम? बिकॉज जब हम प्रोटिस्ट देखते हैं तो उसमें हमको प्लांट लाइक प्रोटिस्ट दिखते हैं. ओके, मतलब कुछ ऐसे प्रोटिस्ट रहे होंगे जो आगे बढ़ के प्लांट बनाया. सिमिलरली हमको एनिमल लाइक प्रोटिस्ट दिखते हैं और हमको फंगाई लाइक प्रोटिस्ट दिखते हैं. ओके, so that is why we say it is a connecting link between Monera and other three kingdoms. Yeah, sometimes एक MCQ पूछते हैं what is the ancestor of all multicellular eukaryotes. So we can say protistans. Protistans are ancestors of all multicellular eukaryotes. Protistans are ancestors of all multicellular eukaryotes. Correct? Because it's a connecting link, na? So all multicellular, whether it is fungi, protista or animalia, sorry, plantae or animalia, they would be formed from kingdom Protista only. So if I can classify kingdom Protista, how can I classify? Please copy this along with me. This is important. Protista can be classified as plant-like. So plant-like बुलाने की जगह हम बोलते हैं autotrophic. Okay. Then next is holozoic. Holozoic मतलब like animals. And third is saprophytic nutrition. ये होगा फंगाई जैसा. या तो ये जो फोटोट्रॉफिक होने वाला है इनको हम बोलेंगे प्लांट लाइक प्रोटिस्ट्स. दे आर एनिमल लाइक प्रोटिस्ट्स एंड दे आर फंगाई लाइक प्रोटिस्ट्स. ठीक है. Example of saprophytic are slime molds. Example of holozoic nutrition are protozoans, the first animals. And here there are going to be multiple organisms. One is called dinoflagellates. They have flagella. Then there is diatoms. And the third group is euglenoid. So these are the various members of kingdom Protista. Now general characters पहले पढ़ लेंगे, उसके बाद individual ये करेंगे. Okay. So general characters is then they have eukaryotic cell. So general characters में everything will be the property of eukaryotic cell. Okay. So what is the first property? They are what? Unicellular eukaryotic. Unicellular eukaryotic. They are unicellular, so they don't have tissue level organization. मतलब they are still at, so tissue level organization is absent. नहीं होता उसमें tissues. They're still at the cellular level of organisms. They can be terrestrial, but most of them are aquatic. Yeah. Some of them can be terrestrial, some of them can even be parasites, but most of them are aquatic. Okay, then they will have ATS ribosomes. Yes, then they will have membrane bound cell organelles like nucleus, mitochondria, chloroplast, etc. Mitochondria, endoplasmic reticulum, etc. अब मोड ऑफ न्यूट्रिशन तो बताया, मोड ऑफ न्यूट्रिशन ये बहुत वेरिएबल है. मोड ऑफ न्यूट्रिशन में क्या हो सकता है? दे कुड बी फोटोसिंथेटिक, दे कुड बी होलोजोइक लाइक एनिमल्स, और दे कुड बी सैप्रोफाइटिक. Then cell wall. Now cell wall may be present. May be present का मतलब क्या है? कुछ लोगों में कुछ मेंबर्स ऑफ प्रोटिस्टा में सेल वॉल होता है और कुछ मेंबर्स ऑफ प्रोटिस्टा में सेल वॉल नहीं होता है. नेक्स्ट, बैक्टीरिया का एक इंपॉर्टेंट प्रॉपर्टी था फ्लैजेला, राइट? सो इनके पास भी फ्लैजेला होता है और इनके पास एक और ऑर्गन होता है जो बैक्टीरिया के पास नहीं होता है, सीलिया. Now they are made up of a protein called tubulin. Now जब मैं फ्लैजेला या सीलिया को एक कट सेक्शन देखता हूँ तो पता चलता है कि बीच में ऐसे दो प्रोटीन्स हैं और ऐसे साइड में तीन तीन करके 9 प्रोटीन्स है ऐसे. 1 2 3, इमेजिन 4 5 6 7 8 9. सो इसको हम बोलते हैं 9+2 अरेंजमेंट. तो अंदर प्रोटीन्स का जो अरेंजमेंट है वो 9+2 अरेंजमेंट है. बैक्टीरिया का जो फ्लैजेला था उसमें क्या था? एक बेस जिसके 4 प्रोटीन्स होते हैं, फिर हुक, फिर उसका होता है फिलामेंट. यहाँ पे फ्लैजेला और सीलिया में क्या होता है? इट इज मेड अप ऑफ प्रोटीन कॉल्ड ट्यूबुलिन and the arrangement pattern is called 9+2. There are 9 spokes, 9 peripheral proteins, the 9 triplets of peripheral protein and 2 in the center. So this is called 9+2 arrangement. Now in bacteria, the reproduction was only by asexual means. यहाँ पे reproduction is by sexual as well as asexual means. Bacteria में there was only asexual. Here it is sexual asexual means. Now इसमें अगर मैं देखूं तो जो ऑटोट्रोफ्स है दे कैन बी प्रोड्यूसर्स. तो वो इकोसिस्टम में प्रोड्यूसर्स का काम करते हैं. जो होलोजोइक है वो कंज्यूमर्स का काम करते हैं. ओके, एंड जो फंगाई लाइक है वो सैप्रोफाइटिक है, वो डिकम्पोजर्स का काम करते हैं. तो इसका मतलब इनका इकोसिस्टम में रहना बहुत जरूरी है, बिकॉज ये प्रोड्यूसर, कंज्यूमर और डिकम्पोजर तीनों का काम करते हैं. ओके, so this is about the general properties of protista. Unicellular eukaryote having cellular level, they are unicellular, so they have cellular level of organization. Tissue level of organization is absent. They are mostly aquatic. They have all membrane bound cell organelles found in eukaryotes. They have ATS ribosomes. The mode of nutrition can be photosynthetic, holozoic or saprophytic. Hence they could be producers, consumers, or they could be decomposers. Cell wall is not present in all, but it may be present. They have flagella. Bacteria have flagella. They have flagella as well as cilia. But the arrangement of their flagella is different from that of bacteria. Bacteria ka flagella will have a different structure. Eukaryotic flagella will be made up of tubulin protein and will be made up of a 9+2 arrangement. So there is a triplet of there are 9 triplets of proteins on the periphery and there are 2 proteins in the center. Usko hum 9+2 arrangement bolte hain. Okay. So this is all about the general characters of prokaryotes. ठीक है. Then let's take individual examples. We have about 25 minutes left. In that, I think we should be able to start with the first one. So we will start with the first organism, and they are what? Photosynthetic protists. They are photosynthetic protists. Now, photosynthetic protists are sometimes also called protist algae, because बहुत सारे इसके organisms पहले kingdom प्लांटे में algae के अंडर था. Yeah. Now, in a water body, there are many organs which are floating, many organisms which are floating. Now, those floating organisms are called planktons. Okay, they are called planktons. Planktons are floating organisms. There are two types of planktons: phytoplanktons, okay, and zooplanktons. Can you tell me what would be the meaning of phytoplanktons? Word fight हमने किया है पहले. Phytoplanktons. Great. So phyto means plants. Okay. So those floating parts which behave like plants will be called phytoplanktons, and those floating microorganisms which will behave like animals. So I can say protist algae are the major part of phytoplanktons. Yeah, they're not zooplanktons. मतलब they're not a major part. Protist algae मतलब जो float करते हैं पानी में, वो majority protist algae होते हैं. ठीक है. Now, इसमें जो first group है उसको हम बोलते हैं dinoflagellates. Can you take a guess why are they called flagellates? Why are they called flagellates? Yes, correct. Because they have flagella. Simple. Dinoflagellates, they have flagella. आपने स्कूल में भी इसके बारे में पढ़ा है. Now, they are the color of dinoflagellates are golden brown color in color. Yeah, they can perform photosynthesis. They are mainly marine. Dinoflagellates mainly found in sea water. Very few are fresh water. Okay. Normally they are golden brown, but depending on the various pigments present in them, some may be red, some may be yellow, some may even be green, some may be brown, and some may be blue. Okay, most of them are golden brown, but their color can range anywhere between these five, and that depends on the quantity of pigments present in the cell. If blue color का pigment ज़्यादा होगा तो dinoflagellate may appear bluish brown. Okay, so this is the introduction of dinoflagellates. They are golden brown unicellular eukaryotic organisms. They are photosynthetic. They are mostly marine. Few may be freshwater. They may be red, yellow, green, blue, depending on the pigmentation. Yeah. Some other properties of dinoflagellates. Yeah. Number most important one, उसके नाम में छुपा flagellated. So they are motile. Motile means they can move, and they have two flagella. That's why it's dinoflagellated. Okay. Motile biflagellated. Motile biflagellated. Okay. Now, if I look at flagella, the, the two flagella are different. They are different from each other. They are not exactly same. So when flagella are different, we use a word called hetero. Hetero means different. So difference in flagella is called heterocont. Okay. Now, in this one, so they are present at different angles. Yeah. One flagellum is longitudinal. It runs along the length of the organism, length of the cell. Yes, one flagellum is longitudinal. The other flagellum, the other flagellum is transverse. Transverse means horizontal. The longitudinal flagellum, children, is narrow, it's thinner, and it is smooth in texture. The transverse flagellum is more ribbon-like. It's a little curved. So the transverse flagellum, the flagellum which is transverse, will be ribbon-like. So I can say both flagella are present at right angles. They are perpendicular. Right angles में होता है. Now, when they flap, they will produce spinning movement. तो वो जो पूरा सेल है वो स्पिन कर जाएगा. अगर दोनों फ्लैप लॉन्जिट्यूडनल और हॉरिजॉन्टल दोनों फ्लैप हिलते हैं, so it produces a spinning movement. That is why dinoflagellates are also called whirling whips. Whirling whips. Whirl का मतलब होता है to twirl or spin. Okay. Then these dinoflagellates were earlier considered to be in plants because they will have cell wall, and the cell wall is made up of cellulose, and surrounding the cellulose there will be pectin. So they will have cellulose and pectin. Now when you look at this cellulose or pectin, it's not smooth. It shows many depressions in it. Yeah. तो ऐसा लगता है कि उसके ऊपर किसी ने उसके ऊपर किसी ने कुछ कारीगरी की है. मतलब इट्स नॉट स्मूथ, इट हैज इट्स ऐसा ऊपर नीचे इंडेंटेड है. सो वी से दैट दे हैव sculptured plates of cellulose and pectin. Okay, so they have sculptured plate of cellulose and pectin. Okay, now these plates could be 2 or more. So there can be 2 or more, but they are perfectly joined. When something is perfectly joined, we say it is perfectly articulated. तो जब आप उसका सेल वॉल देखोगे तो ऐसा लगेगा 3-4 पीस से बना हुआ है, पर वो परफेक्टली एक दूसरे से चिपकाया हुआ है ना. तो सपोज ये एक पीस है और ये एक दूसरा पीस है. ठीक है, ये स्कल्पचर्ड है. स्कल्पचर्ड है मतलब हल्का सा उस पर इंडेंट डिप्रेशन जैसा ऐसा रहता है. ठीक है, इट्स नॉट स्मूथ. ये सब सेल्यूलोज और पेक्टिन से बना है. अब ये दोनों फ्यूज कर जाते तो इसको हम बोलते हैं दिस वुड बी मेड अप ऑफ स्कल्पचर्ड प्लेट्स ऑफ सेल्यूलोज एंड पेक्टिन. ठीक है, तो ऐसा लगता है कि इस सेल के ऊपर है ना, ये एक ऐसा एक प्लेट है, ये दूसरा ऐसा प्लेट है, ठीक है। हेंस दे आर कॉल्ड आर्मर्ड डाइनोफ्लैजेलेट्स। आर्मर्ड का मतलब क्या होता है? आर्मर, जब पुराने जमाने में लोग आर्मी में जाते थे फाइट करने के लिए, तो वो एक बॉडी सूट पहनते थे जिसको हम लोग आर्मर बोलते थे, ठीक है। बॉडी सूट पहनते थे जिसको हम लोग आर्मर बोलते थे। तो ऐसा लगता है ये लोग ने भी एक सूट पहना है, दिस इज मेड ऑफ सेल्यूलोज एंड पेक्टिन। Now this entire suit is called theka. Theka का मतलब होता है बैग। So this entire wall, this entire coat is called theka. Some people also know it as lorica. Lorica, theka mean the same, covering. So I can say that the body of a dinoflagellate is enclosed by a rigid cell wall or rigid coat called theca or lorica. The theca or lorica is made up of cellulose and pectin. The theca or lorica contain two or more perfectly articulated and sculpted. Sculpted matlab, yeah. So sculpted plates of cellulose and pectin. Hence, these are also called armored dinoflagellates. Now, जब ये perfectly fit होंगे, तो इनमें एक्चुअली दो ग्रूव्स दिखाई देगा, ओके। सो द एंटायर ये जो आर्मर है उसमें दो ग्रूव्स आपको नजर आएंगे ऐसे। चलो सपोज ये 4 प्लेट है तो दो ग्रूव्स नजर आएंगे। एक ग्रूव जो ऐसा है, ग्रूव मतलब डिप्रेशन, ग्रूव उसके इनके बीच की जगह, और एक ऐसा रहेगा। ठीक है ना। सो द थेका हैज हाउ मेनी ग्रूव्स? It will have two grooves. One is going to be what? Longitudinal groove. Longitudinal groove. Yes. And the second one is called transverse groove. ये समझा क्यों? ये दोनों ग्रूव क्यों बनाए गए थे? ताकि उसमें फ्लैजेला हो सके। तो लॉन्जिट्यूडनल ग्रूव में लॉन्जिट्यूडनल फ्लैजेला रहेगा और ट्रांसवर्स ग्रूव में ट्रांसवर्स फ्लैजेला रहेगा। अब इनके भी कुछ साइंटिफिक नेम्स दिए गए हैं। द लॉन्जिट्यूडनल ग्रूव इज कॉल्ड सल्कस। सल्कस मीन्स डिप्रेशन। अपने ब्रेन में भी होता है सल्का एंड गायराई, ठीक है। सल्कस का मतलब होता है डिप्रेशन। ट्रांसवर्स ग्रूव है ना, सर्कुलर होता है ऐसे, ठीक है, ऐसे ऐसे सर्कुलर होता है। दैट्स व्हाई इट्स आल्सो कॉल्ड एन्युलस। एन्युलस का मतलब होता है रिंग। इट्स आल्सो कॉल्ड गर्डल, या। So the body is enclosed by a rigid coat which is nothing but the cell wall, that is called theca or lorica. Now इसको अलग से नाम क्यों दिया है? Because normally cell wall एक continuous structure होता है, यहाँ पे एक continuous structure नहीं है। It is made up of two or more perfectly articulated sculptured plates of cellulose and pectin. When they are articulated, there are two grooves also present. The first groove is longitudinal groove, which is called sulcus. The second groove is called transverse groove, which is annulus or girdle. In dono grooves mein there are flagella. The two flagella are different. That is why they are called heterocont. Heterocont means different flagella. Their structure is different. One flagellum is longitudinal, the other flagellum is transverse. The longitudinal flagellum is present in the longitudinal groove. The transverse or horizontal flagellum is present in the transverse groove. The longitudinal flagellum is narrow and smooth. The transverse flagellum is ribbon-like. Both flagella are perpendicular to each other. That is why when they flap, they actually produce circular motion. And this circular motion produces spinning of the cell, and that's why they are called whirling whips. Okay? Whirling whips. Then we come to the photosynthetic pigments. Now, because it is performing photosynthesis, it needs to have photosynthetic pigments. Tell me, children, what is the chief or essential photosynthetic pigment? What is the चलो, व्हाट इज द चीफ फोटोसिंथेटिक पिगमेंट? बहुत सारे फोटोसिंथेटिक पिगमेंट है, साइनोबैक्टीरिया में बताया था. इट्स आल्सो कॉल्ड essential pigment. Niranjan has given the correct answer. There are many chlorophylls, but out of that only chlorophyll A is an essential pigment, also called reaction center. Now chlorophyll A is found in eukaryotes, but cyanobacteria is the only prokaryote in which chlorophyll A is found. साइनोबैक्टीरिया, बाकी जो बैक्टीरिया थे ग्रीन सल्फर, पर्पल सल्फर, उनमें बैक्टीरियो क्लोरोफिल्स होता है. ठीक है. अब जैसे यूकैरियोट हुआ, वहां पे हमको लिखना है क्लोरोफिल ए. ओके. अपार्ट फ्रॉम दिस they also have chlorophyll C. Okay. Then pigments which were first discovered in carrots, orange pigments, carotenes. And next what they have is xanthophyll. Xantho is yellow, so yellowish pigments also will be present. Right. So these are the photosynthetic pigments: chlorophyll A, chlorophyll C, carotene and xanthophyll. Yeah. Now every cell will store reserve food. Yeah, that means they're going to have vacuoles. Now if they're going to have vacuoles, because they are eukaryotic cells, they will store reserve food. Now they will store reserve food the way plants store it. Plants will always store reserve food in the form of carbohydrate, like starch. And there will be oils. Some oils also can be stored as the reserve food. Okay. Now coming back to now the cell organelle. सबसे important कौन सा cell organelle है? It is for the first time that nucleus developed here, right? अब इसके nucleus क्या क्या properties है? Yes. As compared to other eukaryotes, इसका nucleus is larger in size. इसका nucleus is larger in size. Then it will have condensed chromosomes. Now, condensed chromosomes are found in normal eukaryotic cell also, but there is a difference. Okay. Now, when I look at a cell which is not dividing and a cell which is dividing, the cell division is called mitosis here, and non-dividing को हम बोलते हैं, it is in the interphase, phase between two cell divisions. दो mitosis के बीच का जो phase है उसको interphase बोलते हैं. Now in interphase, the DNA is present in the form of a network. The DNA is present in the form of a network, and that network is called chromatin reticulum या chromatin network. ये भी पहले पढ़ा है, but I need this concept here also. But जब वो माइटोसिस कर रहे होते हैं, तो ये जो भी क्रोमैटिन नेटवर्क है, they will condense to form chromosomes. They will condense to form chromosomes. So normally यूकैरियोट्स में इंटरफेज में मुझे क्रोमैटिन नेटवर्क मिलता है और माइटोसिस में मुझे क्रोमोसोम मिलता है. I say chromosome is condensed chromatin network. Now here chromosomes are found in dinoflagellates. The chromosomes are found even in interphase. मतलब उसमें क्रोमैटिन नेटवर्क जैसी चीज नहीं होती है. क्रोमोसोम्स ही रहते हैं जो इंटरफेज में भी दिखते हैं, सेल डिवीजन फेज में भी दिखते हैं. Now eukaryotes में the chromosomes are surrounded by, or the DNA is held in position by histones. Yes, remember histone proteins are a characteristic of eukaryotes. Okay. Now this is again an exception here. They don't have histones. So even though they are eukaryotes, they don't have histone proteins. Histone proteins are absent. Now, normally during cell division, the nuclear envelope or the nuclear membrane disappears. Okay? So nuclear membrane does not disappear here. It remains intact even during cell division. तो न्यूक्लियर मेम्ब्रेन सेल डिवीजन के दौरान भी नहीं निकलता है. नॉर्मल यूकैरियोट्स में न्यूक्लियर मेम्ब्रेन माइटोसिस में निकल जाता है. ओके, सो ये 3-4 प्रॉपर्टी है ऑफ डाइनोफ्लैजेलेट्स व्हिच मेक्स इट डिफरेंट. व्हाट इज द प्रॉपर्टी? न्यूक्लियस इज लार्जर इन साइज, द न्यूक्लियस कंटेन्स क्रोमोसोम्स इवन इन इंटरफेस. बाकी यूकैरियोट्स में इंटरफेस में क्रोमैटिन रेटिकुलम दिखता है. They don't have histone proteins, and nuclear envelope and nucleolus remain present even during cell division. Now this type of a nucleus is an intermediate nucleus. It's still not well developed, है ना? So इसको हम बोलते हैं mesokaryon, क्योंकि ये eukaryon नहीं है. eukaryon के लिए क्या होना चाहिए था? न्यूक्लियस में क्रोमोसोम्स आपको माइटोसिस में ही दिखने चाहिए, न्यूक्लियर मेम्ब्रेन डिसअपियर हो जाना चाहिए माइटोसिस में, और हिस्टोन प्रोटीन्स होने चाहिए. तो इसीलिए इनका जो न्यूक्लियस है उसके कंडीशन को हम मीजोकैरियन कंडीशन बोलते हैं. ठीक है. Take about 2 minutes to wind it up. Okay. Next important thing about dinoflagellates is that sometimes at the base of flagella, मतलब फ्लैजेला जहां से शुरू होता है, बेसल बॉडी बोलते हैं उसको, वहां से फ्लैजेला शुरू होता है, राइट? एट द बेस ऑफ द फ्लैजेला देयर माइट बी सर्टेन वैक्यूल्स प्रेजेंट इन द सेल. At the base of the flagella there will be vacuoles. Okay, now these vacuoles are called puscules. These vacuoles present at the base of the flagella are called puscules. Yeah, now what is the function of these puscules and why are they called puscules? They basically help the cell to float in water and not drown. So it basically helps in floating. Also, it helps in maintenance of salt and water balance. अगर water ज़्यादा हो गया तो ये vacuole से निकल जाएगा. Salt ज़्यादा हो गया तो उसको balance करने के लिए water अंदर आ जाएगा. That is called osmoregulation. Osmoregulation is regulation of salt and water balance. Okay, so they have vacuoles for salt and water balance, which is called puscules. They are present at the base of the flagella. Now some of them glow in the dark. Some dinoflagellates glow in the dark. Now if organisms can grow in the dark, we call that phenomenon as bioluminescence. Bioluminescence. Luminescence means illuminating. Okay, light jalna. Bioluminescence मतलब naturally animals glow करते हैं, plants grow करते हैं, organisms grow करते हैं dark में. Okay. Now this example is Noctiluca. Nocti का मतलब होता है रात, नॉक्टर्नल, रात में ग्लो करने वाला. देन पायरोसिस्टिस, पायरो का मतलब होता है टू बर्न, सो नॉक्टिल्यूका पायरोसिस्टिस। नाउ ये जब बहुत सारे नॉक्टिल्यूका या पायरोसिस्टिस एक सी में होते हैं और जब वो सब एक साथ ग्लो करने लगते हैं तो सी भी ग्लो करने लगता है, और जब सी ग्लो करने लगेगा तो ऐसा लगेगा कि उसके अंदर मतलब इट गिव्स अ लिटिल स्कैरी फीलिंग। ऑलराइट, नेक्स्ट, some dinoflagellates also have a toxin phenomenon. They can produce a toxin. The name of that toxin is saxitoxin. Saxitoxin का मतलब होता है releasing in the sea. So जब ये सी वाटर या मरीन वाटर में ये टॉक्सिन रिलीज करते हैं तो फिशेस, एक्वाटिक एनिमल्स ये सब मर जाते हैं, समझा? और जब ये मतलब बेसिकली ये अपने आप को प्रोटेक्ट करते हैं, राइट? The example of an organism releasing toxin is Goniolox, Goniolox catenella, Goniolox catenella. Goniolox catenella produces a toxin called saxitoxin, which makes it poisonous for vertebrates like fishes and aquatic animals. Okay, then reproduction can happen as asexual as well as sexual methods in dinoflagellates. Okay, remind me, next class we are going to do sexual reproduction in dinoflagellates. Just one or two sentences. Asexual is simply by cell division, mitosis. अगर एक सेल डिवाइड करेगा तो दो सेल्स बनेंगे और दोनों सेल्स माइक्रो और एक ये होंगे, right? No, Anushka, that toxin is not red. That is a different organism altogether. Okay. Chalo. Remind me next class. We are already 3-4 minutes beyond the year. The two flagella are called longitudinal and transverse. That's it. Okay. Longitudinal and transverse flagella bolte hain, right? All right, kids. Thank you very much. See you next time. Bye bye.